Viwe Tyolwana.
I'm Viwe Tyolwana. For more information on the work that we do and how you can help us to help others, please visit our website www.secondchances.org.za.
In Junior Achievement South Africa, its focus is really to expose youngsters within high school and out of school to entrepreneurial thinking, and ours is focused at high school from grade 10 to 12.
I'm very big on youth empowerment and making a difference and touching lives and impacting the lives of our young people. That's practically what I do with my foundation as well, and ever since I was crowned as Miss SA.
The goal of the magazine is to basically share information that will be able to assist small business owners.
You're listening to The Social Show with Viwe Tyolwana
And Viwe Tyolwana, live on brandlive.co.za.
Good morning, South Africa. Good morning. You are tuned into The Social Show. If you didn't know, in our long intro there, it says Social Show, I think 4 or 5 times, so you can't not know. But anyway, today is such a chilly morning in Johannesburg. The sun is out though, but it's still really, really cold. I hope you guys are having a better morning anywhere else. If you're anywhere else in the country, and I hope you are fully clothed if you're in Johannesburg and making your way to work right now. It is really, really cold. But anyway, we're going to start off the day as usual with our news bulletins. Integrated Marketing and Communications Agency WE South Africa has announced the establishment of the WE Development Trust, a broad-based black economic initiative that aligns WE's commitment to transforming the country and impacting lives of disadvantaged black females. The WE Development Trust will take a 30.1% ownership in the local agency and will partner with the Mary's Foundation to educate young disadvantaged black girls. Black economic empowerment is an imperative in South Africa, not just from a business perspective, but also from also as a part of commitment to doing well and doing good, says James Wilson, GM of We South Africa. And by aligning with the St. Mary's Foundation, they have partnered with a known and established entity that has a solid history of empowering girls through education. And it is important that We South Africa and We Development Trust continues the journey and legacy of We Communications as a female-founded and owned organization, in that both the trustees and the beneficiaries are female. They said that they were honored to contribute to the empowerment of young black females in South Africa, in line with their commitment to purpose and change and their belief that opportunity should not discriminate. And the We Development Trust forms part of the We South Africa's broader BBBEE initiative, which is built on the pillars of the enterprise development, supplier development, skills development, and social development, representing an all-encompassing 360-degree approach to empowerment. As such, We South Africa has committed to upskilling its own staff and will partner with small empowered businesses on everything from office stationery to consumables in staff kitchen. In other news, the Department of Finance, Economy and Enterprise Development feed represents the annual 2017 Stockville exhibition as from the 10th to the 11th of March at the Brazil Stadium in Joburg, Matlosana local municipality, under the theme The People's Economy. The Stockville exhibition is an all-encompassing 2-day event that brings various sectors from the financial sector, burial, wholesalers, lifestyle, education to tourism products to connect and partner with Stockville community through the showcasing of products and driving of conversations for possible networking and investment opportunities. The strategic intent is to capture the spirit of exchanging ideas and partnership between Stockville's service providers and informal businesses. Attendees will hear from government departments, successful Stockvilles and enterprises from various sectors. Workshop topics to be covered will include hidden economies, investing in stocks, Stockville incubation and cooperatives, and building the perfect formal business, to name a few. Admission to the expo is free of charge for all Stockvilles, clubs, association, cooperatives, small businesses and individuals interested in tapping into the market. The official opening will be as follows. In the venue will be Brazil Stadium, and the date is between the 10th and the 11th of March 2016, and the time, it'll start promptly at 10 a.m. Members of the media are invited to the event as well. And lastly, change our world for good. Good has worked with Net #work, BBDO, to develop a mobile acts of random kindness app, which is called ARC, which encourages users to set goals for performing random acts of kindness and rewards them for increasing levels of recognition. Users can also share their acts of random kindness on their social media accounts. The South African developed ARC app is simple yet powerful enough to really influence the generation of millennials to change the world, where kindness begets kindness, to teach the influential generation of millennials about kindness, whether it is, by buying an extra burger to give someone who is hungry, volunteering at the local SPCA, or helping mom out by offering to run some errands. The app encourages a sense of gratification for the achievement of having reached a goal. The idea behind the app was sparked because millennials are spending hours and hours a day on social media, and yet at the same time there is still so much bullying and negativity around the world. So what better way to engage with them than to teach them the importance of kindness? One of the most tangible ways in which they change our world for good works is to create a cycle of kindnesses by distributing ARC charity boxes, which are money boxes that fill and spare change and then pass on to others who need coins more than they do. And that wraps up our news for the day.
Have you ever thought about the power of social media? Social media has the power to make your business grow. Yeah. Why don't you let us manage your social media? Because our business is to see your business grow. Visit us at www.bstownmedia.co.za.
So I really love it when companies or foundations or institutions invite the media on a media tour to kind of see the things that they are doing and the kind of work that they are implementing in the communities that they are in, and the communities that they are supporting. And it always just is so beautiful because, one, you get to meet a lot of different journalists on the road, and you get to sort of engage each other on the kind of problems that exist within, CSI and CSR and social development, and how a lot of corporates are either dodging or really dealing with the issues at hand. And also you get to also have your own opinion about what's going on. You get to see the community, you get to listen to the community, you get to understand what it is that they really feel about whatever it is that the company is trying to change in their lives, and whether or not they understand the implications of it all, and whether or not they have fears of losing it, or they have fears of maintaining, and on all these kind of beautiful things that you hear from the community. Because I think if anything, that's what the media tour is for. The media tour is to give even feedback to the strategists involved, to the PR people involved in, the media tour, whether it is in a school, whether it is in a hospital, whether it is a challenge, an initiative, a day where you are painting faces, or you're at Stop Hunger Now packing food, whatever the case may be. It gives a journalist the time to hear what the company is doing, and also from the ground up speak to, the people involved and the people that are impacted by whatever change has been infused in the country. And yesterday I got the chance to go to the Eskom Development Foundation I was on their media tour, and I was very excited because I know that from my past experiences with the Eskom Development Foundation, I've always really had a good relationship with them. But more than that, I've always sort of seen the kind of work that they've done, regardless of the kind of, reputation they might have. I know bad news sells. We all know, Eskom is always under the chopping block, whether or not there's, crazy power cuts to, the relationship with the government, and etc. And we could talk about that all day, and I think you guys know. But yesterday they were really trying to talk about the beautiful work that they've been doing, or the work that they think has really been changing the community, and I got the chance to find out. So yesterday specifically we were in Mpumalanga, and the Eskom Foundation was collaborating with some suppliers to build a new school in Mpumalanga recently, and they had finished now building the school. They had finished putting in all the things they need to put in place. This is not the only school they've worked on. They've worked on countless schools, and we're going to talk about that a little bit more, but what that means actually for the community when a state-of-the-art school is placed in the middle of a township what are the real, ramifications after, Eskom is gone, after the government is gone? Do people honor? Do people respect? Do people really want to see the community grow? Do they understand these new, facilities? Do they want to improve them? So that's another topic, not even a topic, I'll just talk about it a little bit later, and it's just sort of the kind of thing that I saw and the kind of trajectory that I'm seeing whenever there's a state-of-the-art school, and how the community, after everything has been done, treats it. It's actually quite surprising. But anyway, yesterday I was in Mpumalanga and Eskom had opened up a school. So the Eskom Development Foundation had made donations and assisted in the building of the school in Wilga near Emalahleni, Mpumalanga. I've never been to Wilga. I don't know if it's Wilga or Wilga, but it's really, really small. It's literally, you could blink and miss it completely even. But it was beautiful to see what Eskom was doing there. The recently completed school accommodates learners from Sibongindawo and Imbalenhle primary schools from Balmoral and Kendall respectively. Now, after learning of the dilapidated state of the two schools, Eskom committed to contribute by ensuring that a school would be built to accommodate learners from both schools, combining them into one. Now, the new school, which has adopted the name Sibongindawo as its name, has accommodated over I think 480, it's about 500 learners, I guess, from both schools, Alstom and ArcelorMittal. Why do contracting companies have such weird names? What's Alstom? What is that? I don't even know. But anyway, Alstom and ArcelorMittal. Sorry guys, my pronunciation needs work, clearly. Also came on board and committed to assisting in the project by carrying the costs for the building of the school, which was Alstom, and then providing computers for the computer center, as well as the educator training was from the other company. Now, the old Sibongindawo primary school was situated on land that was earmarked by Anglo Coal to develop new Lago mine, which will supply the Kusilo power station with coal. Now, the learners used an old rundown hostel building with many potential health and safety risks. The building was not conducive to their teaching and their learning due to poor infrastructure in the area. The new school was off the electricity grid, and solar was the best option as source for power. Now, to help address this challenge, the Eskom Development Foundation supplied a complete photovoltaic system up to the point of an AC connection, and the foundation has donated gas stoves, fridges and freezers, as well as a vegetable garden. Now, the Eskom Development Foundation acting CEO Cecil Ramanotsi says that the organization is proud to make such a meaningful contribution to the society, and is committed to helping create conducive learning environments and communities for the disadvantaged. And I think when I saw the school, I was very impressed. It wasn't looking really typical. It wasn't looking like a normal school in the middle of nowhere. It was really beautiful. It was very colorful. It was clean, and you could see that the kids could not get themselves hurt or whatever the case may be. And if you didn't know about the Eskom Development Foundation, it's got two major sides to it. And the first side is economic development, which I'll talk about a little bit later. And then it also has social development. Social development has a lot of things underneath its category. They look at health and welfare. They look at education mostly. And I spoke to Chris Bornman, who is the communication manager for the Eskom Development Foundation, a really, really amazing, smart man who's been in CSI forever. So Eskom really did well by getting him on board. But he spoke a little bit about how education is actually everybody's responsibility. It doesn't just end with a company giving off a school or building a school, or trying to give a computer lab or whatever the case may be. Education is a community-wide effort. Companies can only do so much, but the community has to meet them halfway. And I think it's very important what he said, because a lot of people think they think of education in silos, and they think just go to school. All you need is a good teacher and a school, and you'll be fine. But there's so many other issues that go around real education, and education that is going to really make your child someone who is a thoughtful person, someone who can think beyond just the textbook and can really solve issues and solve problems. It's an entire effort from an entire collective. So from communities to the family, to the teachers, to the staff, to the companies involved, to the government, all of them need to work together to make sure that the child who is in that class is getting the best education and is understanding the concept of education. It isn't just a qualification, it's more than that. And that's what he was speaking about yesterday. And he was just saying that the Eskom Development Foundation looks at all of the different aspects, whether it be ECD, tertiary, I know they have a skills development program for young children who can't get into varsity, but they can at least develop their school or their learning experience rather. They have so many things in their social category, and one of the things that stood out for me and something that I actually saw with my own eyes was the Bophelong mobile health clinic. Now Eskom and the government has sort of combined to come up with the Bophelong mobile clinic, and that I'm telling you is life-changing for me. Someone who comes from the Eastern Cape, who understands and I keep going back to my own story because it's a story that I can be sure about, is if we grew up or if people disadvantaged in my community would have grown up with a mobile health clinic in the state, we would be far. We would be far. So I think the mobile clinic goes to the school every 2 weeks and evaluates the kids. It evaluates them thoroughly from their eyesight. So there's a really amazing eyesight, section where they're being tested with how far they can see, if they can't see, and they get spectacles afterwards, and they get prescribed and they get taught how to keep them and how to keep them safe from breaking and all that stuff. Then you move on to just general health in the middle of the bus, and in that bus you get they get all of their limbs are checked, everything is checked, everything was their size, if they're underweight, if they're overweight, all that kind of stuff, just to make sure that they're okay. And then the last part of the bus is the dentist part, which I thought was beautiful because dentistry is a huge problem, a humongous problem in rural areas. People just do not even understand the concept of brushing your teeth every single day, the concept of having a toothbrush and using Colgate. There is no education around it and how important it is. And that's why you'd find that a lot of people in the rural areas either don't have good teeth or their teeth are rotting literally out of their skulls. And most of them are like in pain and are using specific medication just to numb the kind of work that needs to be done on their teeth, and this happens from a really young age as well. So I love that part. And what they do there is that they also teach them how to use a toothbrush and stuff like that, and also they clean their teeth, they check their teeth, and if there needs to be an extraction, they extract. If there needs to be filling, they fill, and if anything, and in all three sectors, if anything needs to be referred to the hospital, they do. And what's lovely is also they really do sort of check whether or not it has been followed up and how the kid is doing and all that kind of stuff, so that when they get back to school, they can get back to their process and have sort of a good idea as to what happened when they left and when the child went to the hospital. And a very scary story I heard was one kid that was there, that was getting it was a girl, she was getting checked almost every 2 weeks, right, as the classes are being checked by the mobile health clinic. And this child came into the first round of the check. She was fine, she was normal, she looked nice, she looked good, she had no HIV, she had nothing. And the second time, I think it was the second time around or the third time around, the child was they discovered she had genital warts on her obviously genitals. And from then on, they found out that she had HIV and that she also had TB. And, that broke my heart when I heard the story, because I said, if this mobile clinic had not existed, this child would have been living with this for Lord knows how long, and would have potentially died quick because there was no treatment. And I'm sure at home, home was not conducive, because there's no way a child can be okay a week before or a month before, and then in the next week they have HIV, they have TB, and they have genital warts. It broke my heart. And it also showed that the issue of having a mobile clinic, the issue of having even having a school in place is not the only thing we need. We also need our communities to respond. We need our communities to take care of their children. We need our communities to make sure that, at home she's safe. At home there's nobody hurting her. There's nobody hurting him. I mean, these children it's a primary school, so it all starts from grade 1 to grade 7. So you can imagine how young they are. And I really got emotional when I thought about it. And I was like, when communities don't understand that it's a collective effort, when communities don't understand that if you don't do your part, you could still rob this person of their education, you could still rob this person of their future, even though there are strategies that have been put in place to make your life easier as a parent, to say, you're going to a school with a computer lab, you're going to a school which is really, really state of the art, and you're not playing your part, you're not protecting your child. And that child, obviously now is doing better. She was referred to a hospital in Johannesburg and was, treated for her HIV and for her TB and all these other things. And it really was a scary story that I heard. Also, before Eskom even got into building the school, another girl who was, in the schools, who was attending the schools, was also, sick for months, and nobody knew what happened. And, through this Bopelong mobile health clinic, they found out that the girl had swallowed a used condom. And when you think about it, it's like, how? Because, you know what a condom is, and but it just means that the lack of education that is coming from the home, that lack of education that kids, the environment that these kids are in is just dire. So I really, really enjoyed what I saw. I loved seeing Eskom, show us the kind of work that they do. It's obviously not only in Mpumalanga, it's all over the country. But for me, when I saw it, I was like, this is exactly what we need, but we need it to be continuous, and we need it to be really, really aggressive in how it deals with kids' social safety, health safety, and education, and solidifies the kind of education that they get and they have, and the facilities and the environment that they're around. So that's one of the most beautiful things I got from the Eskom Development Foundation yesterday. Another side which was really beautiful was their entrepreneurial economic development side, which has a contractor academy as well as the business investment competition. As part of Eskom's corporate social investment program, the Eskom Development Foundation, through the business investment competition, encourages and rewards entrepreneurs by providing a platform for small and medium enterprises to cross the next major hurdle in business development. Now, the BIC is an annual entrepreneurship competition by Eskom Black-owned small and medium enterprises in the engineering and construction, agriculture, manufacturing, and trade and services sectors that have been in operation for at least 24 months are eligible to enter. And that's another part of Eskom Development Foundation. And what's beautiful is that two of the overall winners were there yesterday. Nomcebo Printers, who is the only black-owned printing company in Mpumalanga, as well as Lemore Solar, which is a company that provides renewable energy and specializes in solar photovoltaic solutions. And I got to meet them and I got to speak to them, and what I loved, and I'm saying this with all my heart, is the fact that they also have integrated strategies in their own small companies. These companies have been around for 2 years, and they have also integrated social investment strategies. And I was like, oh my word, very few small companies think that far, because they think, I'm too small, I just need to make a profit. And these companies are already, passing the baton in the same way that Eskom Foundations has sort of helped them to get where they are. They're also helping other, young girls get into the social space, and they're getting into the social space. And that's also beautiful when you see SMMEs trying their best to be responsible for their communities. And that's what the Eskom Development Foundation does. It is sort of that pay it forward mantra, which I think is so important, and I think is beautiful to see, and beautiful to witness at first hand, and also beautiful to see when the kinds of businesses that they're helping, the kind of businesses that they're pushing forward, are also taking on the same sort of mantra, taking on the same mandate, and saying, if Eskom can do that, I can too. And I think that's the most important thing. As much as your business can grow, as much as you can get tenders, as much as you can be amazing because of Eskom, you can also be socially responsible in your your little corner and do the best that you can. It takes very little for you to give back, to give someone a skill that you already possess in your business. And I think that is exactly what yesterday was about. Development, the Eskom Development Foundation is really doing great, amazing stuff. I mean, there's a few things that I would have, commented on, but time is, against me. But I'll talk a little bit more about them on Monday or Tuesday, whenever this topic comes back again. Companies who are really wanting to make the media see, or people see, the kind of work that they're doing, and being transparent in it. And that's exactly what Eskom is doing. And that concludes my show for the day. It's weekend soon, so I really hope you guys can rest, and we will all meet up again on Monday.